Hi there, this is Kerry from Delicious and Nutritious. Hi you superstars. Today we're going to make burgers. And burgers must be one of the most well-known ingredients of all time, right? Like anywhere you go in the world, you can get a burger. There's no town I've ever been to where I haven't been able to get one. And the purpose of Nutritious and Delicious is to nutritionally boost any recipe you're making. And that's the question we're asking. What can we add into our food that can really boost our immune system, boost the nutritional health content, and be really, really good for us, right? So a lot of the foods we enjoy, we can actually just add a lot of nutrition into them, and there we go, we've got the nutrition, and a burger is a perfect example. So, as I don't know how to edit, we're going to do this long form today. Please bear with me. I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as possible. We're going to make 2 burgers though. Using this beautiful free-range meat, we're going to divide this into 4 burgers. 125 grams each. That's 500 grams of meat for 4 burgers. In that, we're going to make a herb and garlic patties. So that's going to be the base. So we're going to use these beautiful herbs. I've got all different types of herbs here. I've got parsley, I've got chives, I've got rosemary, I've got oregano. And herbs and spices have together, pound for pound, one of the most antioxidants and vitamins and minerals out there. So herbs are always a great way to add nutrition. I use them in everything. As you can see, I mean, I've got tons of this in my fridge. So, but we're going to add a whole lot of this, right? So on top of the burgers is going to be my mushroom sauce, right? Mushrooms, super healthy. They've got a lot of B vitamins in it, especially niacin, which is really good for the brain, good for concentration, good for sleep, good for stress. So really, 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 really good for you. Obviously, we're going to add a bit of garlic, of course, into the patties. So that's on the allium family. It's also super healthy for you in many different ways. I've got quercetin in it and also a whole lot of different B vitamins. All right, so the first thing, the second burger we're going to do is a coleslaw topped, Asian coleslaw topped burger. So it's going to be that really lovely crunch, that nice sweet and sour flavor from the Far East. And the nice thing about using a slaw or cabbage or any cruciferous vegetable is that it's got sulforaphane in it. Sulforaphane is a sulfur-based compound that's unbelievably good for you. It's good for cancer, it's good for heart disease, it's good for strokes. I mean, you name it. There's been so many studies done on this. One way to boost your content here, this is a red cabbage. I'm going to slice this now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slice this. It imitates the chomping motion of our teeth, which releases the sulforaphane. If you don't do that, we're going to eat this raw, so it's absolutely fine. But by doing this, you maximize it. If you ever cook this, you definitely want to do it at least 45 minutes to an hour first, so that you can then build up the sulforaphane in these in the vegetable that you're using. Right, into that we're going to add some herbs and a nice Asian sauce. So let's get started on cutting this, and as I said, we're going to be mixing and matching between the stand and myself, so please be patient. Thank you. Right. Alright, so I've definitely got a bit of a bigger piece than I need. But I'm going to get them nice and thin like that. Right, put this to the side. I'm going to chop these up a little bit. Right, you don't want big slices, which then can pull off the burger when you're busy eating it. Right, so another thing we're going to add to these are some herbs. So yeah, we're going to crunch this all up anyway. So I'm using the stalks and everything. And I've cleaned this as basil, and I'm going to cut them quite big actually. Basil and coriander, right? I mean, how much more Far Eastern could you get? This stuff's beautiful, right? So I'm going to pop that in there. This, to me, is one of my favorite things in the world, nuts. They are so good for you. The oil and fat is good for you, but what's more is that adding them to a coleslaw it's like a turbo boost of flavor. It adds a nice meaty earthiness to it, and it is just unbelievably good. So we'll just give these a light chop. Okay. Okay, now we've chopped those, we'll wait. First thing I want to do though is just show you, if you get cabbage and you crunch it up like this, first of all you're getting more of that sulforaphane. Second of all, what you're doing is breaking it down a bit, so it's actually not such a crunch. You know, you're kind of tenderizing a little bit so that you can really break down the fibers in the plant and make it just a little softer, right? So now that's sitting there, we'll get our sauce and we will throw that over. That is a bit of oyster sauce, soy sauce, lemon juice, a little bit of fish sauce, and a bit of avocado oil with lemon mixed in it, and of course then I think I may have said the lemon juice. So there we go, voila, look at that, so easy, and that's our first topping, right? So that's going to add a really nice boost. That can sit there, the sulforaphane can boost up while we're doing other things. The next thing we're going to go to is the mushrooms. So we're going to get onto that mushroom sauce, mushroom sauce for the burgers. Okay. And yes, the answer is yes. I am a messy cook. Always have been, always will be. However, I do clean up after myself, so at least there's that, right? Okay, so with the mushrooms, you don't have to be too exact, just give them a nice little chop. I've cleaned these of any debris and whatever. Okay. Right, just run the knife through them a little bit. Okay, so there's the mushrooms done. Beautiful garlic. Look at this, it's got its skin on, right? Top and tail it. Boom. No. Top, tail. Push the skins to the side. On there. Bang, bang. Okay, the skins just come right off. You have no problem, and you've already started crushing the garlic, which is always great. So this garlic is actually going into the meat. But I'm going to use some in the mushroom sauce as well, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a garlic fiend. I love this stuff. So, okay. So, garlic is done. You'll know, by the way, that if you have that little green spot going through the middle of your garlic, that often you can remove that and it'll take away some of the, that excess garlic smell after you've been eating it. Another way you can tell is that if these skins are pink, then that means they're also fresh and probably local. So these I know are local, but try to choose the pink ones. And you also get baby garlic, which is a really nice flavor. It's a bit more subtle. All right, so I'm going to push these just to the side here. Also, again, we're not going to use too much of the onion for the mushrooms. We're just going to use some of it to add a nice little structure to it now. Something for it to cook with. Okay, so I'm putting on my oven there. I've got a little hot little pan. I'll show you, and we'll slowly start cooking this. What's next? Okay, we'll get onto the vegetables as soon as the herbs as soon as that gets going. So let's move this around. And voila, you got it. We all good. Excellent. Right, little pan. We're going to make the mushroom sauce in. It's taking its sweet time, these old plates. Bless them, bless them. All right, so we're going to get a bit of cooking oil, olive oil here in there. Mushrooms do need a bit more fat than normal, like sponges. So I always I think a little bit of butter is a nice idea as well. It adds that really nice little nutty flavor that goes so well with the mushrooms. So while that's going, I'll get our stuff here. Push the onions on, push the meat on, meaty mushrooms on, shall I say. Alright, so I'm just going to let those sit and cook. I've put the heat on, it will get to it, and we will come back periodically and check on them. So, the next thing we're going to do is chop up these herbs so that we can add them to the meat. Okay. Okay, you can actually hear those. You can hear those mushrooms starting to make a noise now. Okay, with time, obviously you've got to get the little leaves off. These are very, very soft stalks. It's a nice summer batch this, so we don't have to worry too much about the stems. We're going to cut this up, and we're also going to add it to the meat. So you won't really even notice if there's some harder pieces or whatever. And as the man Jamie always says, don't worry too much about things. Cooking is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be nutritious, and it's not precious. So just grab all your stuff together, separate it as best you can, and then give it a good chop. I was a caterer, a chef for 15 years about, and one thing I learned very quickly on is that herbs are your best friend in terms of making fresh stuff. You know, add a bit of any fresh herb and voila, you've got a whole rejuvenated dish. So herbs are an absolute must in any kitchen. As I said, they're very, very healthy. So now we're going to stir this. Let's have a look at that. Looking good, looking good. Okay. Yeah, now it's cooked a little bit. I'm going to grab some of my garlic and throw it in. Okay, there's enough moisture here. Just always check. You can dry fry mushrooms, and they're actually quite nice. They add a nice nuttiness to them. They don't add any liquid at first. Just let them get nutty, and once they've got a nice sheen, if you're dry frying them, you'll see they become a bit more tough, a bit more meaty, and they're really, really nice. But we don't have time to mess around today. We're just going to get those mushrooms done beautifully and turn the heat down a little bit and back up to our boards. Okay. So, yes, as I said, one of the tricks restaurants do, chefs do, is to just get the use of fresh herbs. Just gives everything a nice boost. It also obviously gives a nice health boost, so it's really good for you. In the summer, of course, you'd ideally want to grow your own, so that would be great. But if you can't, they're actually a relatively inexpensive, healthy food, you know. So you can actually just buy them and use them. Another thing we're going to also do is add in this Italian herbs. Dried herbs have one of the highest concentrations of antioxidants, much more than the fresh herbs. So if you can get some dry herbs as well, I mean, that is so much bang for your buck. You're getting so much nutrition, so much flavor, all from a teaspoon, maybe, let's say, of the herbs. Alrighty then, so we've got a nice bunch of herbs here. So we grab some more coriander, a little bit more parsley, and voila, we are good to go. Okay. Oh, a little bit more oregano there. I love oregano. If you ever struggle to grow herbs, grow oregano. The stuff is grows like wildfire. It's amazing. Alright, so we're going to give these a relatively good chop, because because we don't want a big chunk of just thyme or parsley, oregano in one bite. So we want to get this nicely blended. Okay, super. Right, herbs done. Healthy, delicious. The smell is so wonderful. It's like, it's so different to just one herb. You know, together they make another smell. It's quite super. Right, so as I said, got our burger here. We're going to, well, burger meat, shall I say. We're going to add that into a bowl and start mixing everything up. Okay, so our mushrooms are doing well. I'm turning the heat right down, right? This is the pre-prep because it's taking, you're obviously starting with this because it's going to take the longest, right? So you start with that. So, our meat is going to go into a little bowl here. And into that bowl, we're going to go all our herbs. Okay. And our garlic, which I'm just going to give a little run through on my knife quickly just to break up any of the bigger pieces. You can of course use a teaspoon of dry garlic from the shops if you don't want to cut all of this up. Okay, so now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of these dry herbs, and that's going to give an extra boost. Another thing I'm going to add, which is my favorite, I don't cook without it generally, is chili. Also a huge vitamin C, very good. This is just a jalapeno, so I'm not even going to bother to take off the seeds or anything like that. I'm just going to cut it up. Okay. Oh, these mushrooms are looking delicious. Really nice. Okay, let me show you. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh yeah, you guys like that sound effect. Bang! How delicious is that, eh? Wow, just where we want it. Okay, so now I'm actually going to take that out of the heat. It's got some good cooking done, and we are about done with that mushroom sauce. We'll let this cool as I finish cutting up the chili and adding that to the meat. And then we are going to go ahead and actually start cooking the meat straight away. So it's the nice thing about burgers as well. It's fantastic for the whole family. You can have burger night. So all you want to do is cook your patty. It's a lovely way for kids to sneak in health food. You know, you just get a whole lot of herbs and different like vegetables. And as long as you cut them up fine, you can. The kids won't even notice they're there. And if they do, they'll go, "Hey, Mom, what's that delicious burger? Why is it so good today?" You can at least say, "No, son, it's just the Mom's extra love and care." Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of onion as well to this beef, just because I had it left over, and you know what, why not? It's a healthy thing, and the allium family, as I said, huge antioxidants, but it's got so much healthy stuff in it, and very good for you. And of course we all love onion. If you wanted to, you could also actually, you could cook these down in a pan for a little while, get them nice and soft, and then add them in. They'll be absolutely fine as well. So let me see where we are here. Okay, so back to here, right? Add a nice spoon in here. Now, because this is has been so beautifully ground, all of the grounds are going in one way, right? So that's going to give you really nice tenderness. So what I want to do now is I don't want to be too rough with this. I want to be quite gentle, but yet still mix it in thoroughly, right? So now I've done a bit of a job with the spoon. Jeez, it's like a feeding time at the zoo here. Anywho, right, so get this a nice mix in. Scoop the stuff up, use it like a claw, just get it in there. So you're not crunching the meat into, compacting it. You're still keeping it quite light. You want that lightness, at least at the moment. Just now when we're compacting the burgers a little bit, the actual individual patties, it might be a little bit different. But, okay, so you can see this now. It's a little bit dry, a little bit crumbly. This is a lean mince, unfortunately. So I didn't manage to get any from my butcher. But most minces you want to use for burgers, by the way, are between an 80-20 and a 70-30. And that means 70% protein, fat, meat, and 30% fat. So that'll give you a really good flavor. And I do advise people to do it. Don't skimp on that. Why? You're making a burger, you're going to do it. Just make sure you boost that thing completely. Right. I'm going to add in some more fat because this is not fat enough and I want it to bind. You could add eggs or an egg. You could add breadcrumbs if you want to, but I don't mind the fat, so I find if I just add a bit of fat, so that's maybe 2 tablespoons, then it'll do the binding. Look at that, already. It's really starting to bind. Right. So, nicely done there. Spread that out. Give my hands a wash. And we are going to SMP these guys. Okay, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, a bit of salt. Interesting about pepper, it's got pepperine in it. Pepperine is a super healthy, brilliant compound that boosts nutritional absorption. So we're going to finish off this mushroom now, right? While that meat is resting and absorbing each other's, all the flavors and everything, we're going to do that. So, as I said, it's a mushroom sauce, but it's also I'm going to add a lot of pepper into it because it's actually going to be, on request of Simon, a pepper mushroom sauce. So I absolutely love pepper, so I'm going to throw in here probably about 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon, right? A bit of salt. But if it's up to you. I know not everyone likes pepper, so if it is a bit much for you, then obviously don't do that. Now, because we need this to fit on a burger, we're not just going to be, putting this on steak where we can gather the soupy mushroom sauce all over the plate and dip our meat in. It's going to be on a burger. You don't want it dropping everywhere. So I'm going to add a bit of pure cream to it. Let that reduce down. And as soon as it gets down a little bit more, I'm going to add a bit of cheese. Right? That'll also bind it beautifully and get it going. Okay, all good so far, all good so far. Right, so that can just keep going here for a while. I'm going to do a bit of a cleanup. The one thing that I don't tell you, ever, in your life, when you're going to become a chef, is that you spend a lot of your time cleaning, actually, a hell of a lot of your time, and so you get pretty good at it. And I'm being a messy chef. A perfect example is that I've learned how to clean up after myself very well. So, right, I'm going to turn that right down to the lowest setting now. This is being these metal plates. They take a while to warm down, so I'm having to learn how to do those. Right, now let's zoom back in and let's get a bit of meat action going here. Okay, so here's our base, right? Here's our base of our meat. And remember, we've added garlic, we've added herbs, so it's really, look how beautiful that looks. Isn't that good, gorgeous? Don't you just want to oh, you can't even see it, the light is so bad. Let me see if I can bring it closer. Oh, look at that. All of the garlic and the herbs, look at that. Wow, doesn't that make you excited? It makes me so excited. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a bit of a square here to divide it evenly. You can, if you've got a scale, kitchen scale, which I have usually, but of course can't find it right now, you can do this on your kitchen scale to make it exact. But if you don't, do it a la Jamie style, in half, turn around, in half, right? Pretty even, be good enough. I like smaller burgers. I don't like burgers that are too big. I find it much more enjoyable to have a smaller patty that I can have two of than rather one humongous one. I suppose I like the smashed burgers, so that's why I would do that. Right, so you just grab this here, compact it a bit with your hands like this. Okay. Now, one thing you may want to do, and this is to just be very gentle, is just fold it. You're going to let it fall into your other hand. Throw it there, fall it. Throw it there, fall. Throw it there, fall. And what this is doing is just compacting this meat a bit. See, it actually looks more like a meatball now, and that's going to give you some nice compaction when you're moving around. Right? The way I like to do it, just grab, using the palm of my hand, get it around there. Okay. Now some of these are going to break up. You just fix it with your, oh, and the mushroom sauce is ready to rock and roll. Okay, so some meat and some patties are more stubborn than others, but we are going for taste, flavor, and health here. So we don't really worry too much about what it looks like. And plus, some nice funky edges that get charred are always nice, right? Okay, so I have done this in the tens of thousands of times. Meatballs, deluxe, any kind of snack good. It's always, so much of snack food is around, some kind of ball of food that you can eat. So I have done this with my staff, and trust me, when you've got 500 of those to do, it becomes quite a meditation. Funny enough, it becomes a process. So again, stuff's going to fly all over the place. Doesn't matter. You're cooking delicious food here. It's really about the flavor, the texture, and of course, as we keep on saying, the beautiful nutritional boost that will help boost our immune system and keep us healthy, especially now. We've all, I think our stress levels are much higher than normal. Stress can kill you really fast. So please, peeps, take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Try getting in the sun. That vitamin D that we get from the sun is really, really good for you and will make you feel better as well as boost your immune system. So try get out in the sun if you can. I know in Johannesburg where we are, been a bit miserable for the last few days, but right now it is an absolutely gorgeous afternoon. So I'm going to just give my hands a clean there. Our burgers are ready, right? As I said, I could actually, if I was cooking this for clients or whatever, maybe I would really try hard to make them look perfect or whatever, but I think there's a certain kind of elegance to it that is nice. Right, so these, let's just focus here on our mushroom sauce. I'm going to add a bit of cheese in there now. Okay, and I'm going to give these a stir. So that's going to slowly melt in there nicely and give it a nice, tangy, cheesy, stretchy deliciousness. This is just some white cheddar, matured white cheddar. But if you want, you can use a softer cheese like a Gouda. It's a bit sweeter. Okay, so I've turned the heat off on this. So I'm going to let the heat, just the residual heat, just melt that cheese. So that's essentially our first guy. And normally I would have added some thyme in there, but of course we've got so much delicious herbs in the patties, we don't have to. So that there is up to heat already. So I'm going to take that off, give it a bit of a stir around. Oh, look at that cheesy deliciousness. One of the wonderful things in the universe is melted cheese, isn't it? Okay, so back at our burgers. So I'm going to pop this here, and we're going to focus. There. Voila. Now, pop that up again to full blast, right? So one of the things we've got to do is we have to toast the buns, so because I don't feel like pulling out my toaster or switching on my whole oven for a couple of burger rolls, I'm just going to first put them in the pan, the dry pan, toast them up a bit so that they're ready for when the burgers are ready. Okay, so it's nice and simple. Literally just put them on there. Once in a while, give them a bit of a turn, push down the middle so that it's got full contact, and voila. I've also chosen these sesame seed rolls because sesame seeds is one of the brilliant things that you should really try. Well, certainly seeds every day. So look at the beautiful, generous sesame seeds there. It'll also give it such a nice moorish buttery like taste, which I love on sesame seeds. Of course, you've also got to look at me for a while I do some